Once we opened as the Springs Preserve, we realized we were calling ourselves a botanical garden, but yet we didn't have any collections to wrap ourselves around. And most botanical gardens have a collection that they can point towards. And then in looking around the desert Southwest, we found that nobody had a Mojave cactus and succulent collection, and who better to do that than the Springs Preserve, because we are right here in the Mojave Desert.
And while we had considerable experience in rescuing local plants that were threatened by development, we also had quite a quest ahead of us in collecting the rest of the specimens from all over the Mojave.
Well, we had some of the collection from all of the cactus salvaging that we did over the years. So any native cactus plant or specimen that you see here is from the Las Vegas Valley. So we did have a good start of that collection already on site on property.
Because although the standards demanded we acquire a respectable percentage of the 27 or so species of cactus and succulents, we actually gathered an even more remarkable variety.
The recognition says that you have to have at least 50% or more of the collection to be considered for recognition, and we have probably about 90-95% of the collection in place.
But that was just one of the many demands we had to satisfy to achieve the national approval we were seeking.
The recognition comes from the North American Plant Collections Consortium, and there's criteria involved, and as you hit those marks, you reach certification, or it's more of a recognition. And so it's that board who then decides whether or not you've met those standards.
And once we received that recognition, we were as pleased as we could be to join the company of the most respected collectors in the gardening world.
Other gardens in sort of our area, the Stribing Arboretum in San Francisco, the Huntington Botanical Garden, they all have collections that have been nationally recognized for specific groups of plants. And so now we become part of that group.
But still our work will continue because the collection will be in a constant state of change as we acquire even more exceptional specimens.
We are always going to try to improve the collection, and a collection value is based on the information each specimen or plant has. And so some of these plants have a pretty good history. We know where we salvaged them from, or we grew them from seed, wild collected seed.
And behind the scenes, we will also be growing our own examples of the more challenging plants under the controlled conditions they deserve.
It's either in seed, those are the difficult ones, or I'm growing it in a little 2-inch container in the propagation facility. So those are things we're not going to put out here right away. Because they'll either get lost, trampled, overlooked as far as care and maintenance.
But the majority of the collection will always be on display in a prominently located section of the garden.
We are conducting tours on the weekends currently of the gardens, and part of that tour is to let people know that we do have this collection and that it is recognized, and we'll continue to promote it.